Good morning and welcome to my obligatory pre-auto assembly video. Yes, it's that time of year again. It's only what, 8 days to go, something like that, for auto assembly, which starts next Friday. So this is my pre-auto assembly video. Most people have done theirs. They're doing their hopes and fears videos. I don't do none of that nonsense. I'm just gonna be me talking about my plans for auto assembly. I don't run with the crowd. I do my own thing. Can you blame me? Anyway, hang on a minute. Something's not quite right here. Ah, I know what it is. That's better. Green. Yeah, while we're on the subject, what's ever happened to Ray? I mean, Ray, I Love Mess, the guy who invented the green t-shirt for auto assembly. I mean, he's sort of disappeared off the scene. Last I saw of him was at auto assembly last year, when I went on the Saturday. And during the afternoon session I went out and he was standing over by the Space Bridge stall, and I had a quick word with him because I was looking at buying a Leader Class Optimus Prime. And he said he was a bit upset with the changes that Google had made to YouTube, and they'd ruined it for him and he wasn't going to be doing many videos anymore. And lo and behold, 12 months down the line, we've had no video content from him. He's like dropped off the face of the earth. As I understand it, he's obviously very busy with his work and got married, I heard as well. So he's obviously got other things going on in his life that are more important than doing videos for YouTube. But still, he was Mr. Auto Assembly. You'd think the last Auto Assembly, Ray would definitely make an appearance. Be interesting to see if he turns up. Anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about my auto assembly, what I plan to do. Well, last year rather, I only went on the Saturday, and I took about 450 quid and I bought a bunch of bots. Last year it was all about me buying plastic and maybe meeting up with a few YouTubers, which is basically what I did. I didn't do much else. I think I attended one panel. That was the Return of Death's Head panel with Simon Furman on the afternoon, and I've got an interest in Death's Head, so I had to do that. I only got one thing signed. That was my Death's Head. I bought a Death's Head postcard and got it signed by Simon Furman. But apart from that, I wasn't really interested in panels and getting stuff signed. I never really sat in the main hall and looked at the events going on the stage. Didn't do any of that. It was me walking around the hall, hung around in the bar Saturday afternoon, chatted to a few people, Brad, Excellion XLR, Luffy, Amazing H, those guys, and I was in a conversation with Vigadef and Ben Wasp Shop 23. But apart from that, I didn't do a lot else because I was kind of new on the scene, and not many people knew who I was, so I just made the best of what it was. Anyway, like I said, bought a load of stuff, came home and did my haul videos. This year though, doing it different. And it's not because it's the last one. It's not because it's the last auto assembly. I was going to do this anyway, regardless. Booked in for the full 3-day event. That's the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I've managed to get a single room in the Hilton Hotel, so I'm right on the top of the convention site. I ain't got to walk to the hotel. I'm right on there. I'm going to be able to attend all the evening events, stay up till silly o'clock in the morning, do all that stuff. It's going to be, dead easy for me. I'm going to be there for the whole hog, the whole event. But to start off with, obviously, turning up on the Friday. Now, there was I did have a bit of concern that I wasn't going to be able to get the Friday morning off work. I mean, I only work half day on Fridays anyway, but it looked like I'd have to go into work Friday morning, in which case I wouldn't have been able to get to auto assembly until mid-afternoon on Friday. But as it happens, I have managed to get Friday morning off work, so I can take my time on the Friday morning, get all my stuff together, go uptown, get my money out, blah, blah, blah. And because I'm virtually on the doorstep of auto assembly. I mean, I only live about 18 miles away from the Hilton Hotel. I could almost open my window and spit on the place. I live that close. So it's only a quick car drive and I'm there. I couldn't live any closer. So it's no problem getting to the convention site. Absolutely no problem. No problem me getting to the Hilton. So I'm planning to get all my stuff together and set off about sort of 11, well, no later than 11:30. I should rock up about midday-ish. That's my plan. Now, as I've booked into the hotel, I cannot book into the hotel till 3 p.m. So there's that limbo period between sort of midday and 3 o'clock where I'm just going to be hanging about doing nothing. Now this period I'm really looking forward to, because I'm going to go into the bar and I'm just going to chill out in the bar, get a drink, and then just do some people watching. And hopefully there'll be some other people there who've also arrived and are just doing the same thing. So hopefully get, you know, meet and greets with some of the people that are already there, and, you know, just chill out, spend some time, waste some time, bit of drinking, bit of chat, until I can get booked into my hotel room. And I'm probably, that is the thing I'm most looking forward to of Auto Assembly this year, is that little period on the Friday afternoon. That little limbo period where you're just sitting around waiting for something to happen. And that's what I'm most looking forward to. Yeah, so, and then I'll be booked into my room, and then the rest of the Friday will be whatever it is. Again, more hanging around, chatting, talking, drinking, blah, blah, blah. One thing I will say, I'm not really a drinker. I'm not really mad on drinking. I don't like beer or lager. Can't drink it. It's too sour. I don't do that. I've got a sweet tooth. Can't drink beer or lager. I do bottled cider, you know, like Copperberg and Sidra, maybe a bit of Mangas or Bulmers, but that's about what I drink. I like a bit of white wine, but I'm not really a drinker. My body doesn't really do large quantities of alcohol that well these days, so don't expect me to be, you know, knocking back the pints, because I don't do that. But yeah, so that's that. Get booked into the room, get set up. One thing I will say, I am bringing a bunch of bots with me. Yes. Obviously the event doesn't start proper until Saturday morning, so there's going to be, the Friday, it's just going to be a lot of people standing around chatting, but I am bringing some bots with me, about 10 bots. I'm not really going to say what ones they are, but some of them are some rare bots from my collection that I think that I've got that I think other people might want a closer look at. So I'm bringing those. There's a couple of bots I'm bringing to give away to a couple of lucky YouTubers if they choose to accept them as well. Also, I'm going to be bringing some stuff to put on the fans sales table, which you can do on the Friday afternoon. It's a bunch of comics, because obviously I've got that big comics lot. There was some duplicate comics in there, so I've decided I don't need those, so I'm passing them onto the sales table. There's a couple of bots from my collection that I'm getting rid of, because A, they're duplicates that I don't really need, so I'm putting them on the fan sales tab as well as a sealed DVD that I bought that I never even needed. So there's a few bits I'm putting on the fan sales table. Yeah, so then the event starts proper. Obviously you're going to have to queue up on the Saturday morning to get your pass and get into the event, and then it's all going to kick off. Now, money. Last year I spent about 450 quid. I took about 450 quid, 440, 450 quid. Bought a bunch of bots. This year I'm taking a lot more money than that. I've been quietly squirreling money away in one of my bank accounts over the year for Auto Assembly, and that account will be getting emptied the day before. And I'll be taking a little bit of money off my credit card and a little bit of money out of my current account, and I will have a big wad of money to spend at Auto Assembly. I'm not going to say exactly how much I'm taking just yet. All I will say is that I will have the option to buy at least 2, possibly 3 complete third-party combiners. That will give you the sort of idea of the amount of spending money I'm going to be taking. But as for how I'm going to spend my money, last year I sort of did morning and afternoon session. I sort of split my cash in 2 and did a morning and afternoon session. That sort of worked quite well. So I'm planning on doing the same this year. I'm going to split my cash up into 4 sessions, morning and afternoon on the Saturday and Sunday. So I will have a fair amount of cash to go around and buy what I want. As for what I'm looking to buy, now last year I had a big list of bots, and I only managed to get a couple of bots on said list. People say don't bother taking a list because you'll never find what you want, and there'll always be something else you see that you want to buy. This is true, but what I'm doing this year is I've got a bunch of top tier sort of convention grail bots that I want to search for. Two of them are quite rare and potentially expensive bots that are like £100 plus bots, and I will tell you what those are. One of them is Takara Tomy Masterpiece MP10B Black Convoy. I really want one of those. I want a version of the MP10 mold, but I don't want the Optimus Prime. I want the other one, or I want one that's different, because I've got an MP01 and I want the MP10 mold in a different colour, and that's the one I've decided I want to go for. Then I got this. Got this in that comic slot, Transformers Evolutions Hearts of Steel, and I've read it and I really like this. It's a kind of a spin-off, a what if the Transformers were revived back in the American Industrial Revolution rather than in sort of like 1980s modern America. And it's kind of cool because it's the Transformers, they take on these steampunk robot modes, which are really cool. And Mastermind Creations made some bots based on the designs from this comic, and I've been looking at them thinking I'd quite like one of those, and the one I've gone for is that one. Mastermind Creations Night Morpher KMO3 Cyclops, aka Steampunk Shockwave. Yeah, I want one of those. It's a rare bot. They very hard to come by, quite expensive. They retail for about 130 quid on eBay. But if I see one around about the £100 mark, I will be nabbing it. Definitely having one of those. The other thing that definitely want, as Peter Spellos is coming again this year, I want to get me a Skybite. But I don't want the Generations one. No, everybody can buy that. You can get the Generations one everywhere. They've got it in B&M, they've got it in Smiths, they've got it in Toys R Us for, about sort of 12 to 15 quid. Pick one of them up any day of the week. No, I want an original one. I want a Car Robots stroke, original RID one. I saw one at Auto Assembly last year. There was that stall in the far corner that did all the Japanese Transformers. He had one on his stall last year, boxed, mint for 25 quid, and I saw it and I was umming and ahhing about it, and I didn't go for it. But if I see one this year, I'm definitely buying it, because I decided I want me a Skybite, but I want me a proper Skybite. And of course, as Peter Spellos is there, I might see if I can get him to sign it for me. And then I might be tempted to get the Generations Skybite as well, if I can pick one up at the right price and get him to sign that as well. And as everybody's going to be getting issued this postcard with Skybite on as part of their welcome pack to the convention, I'm sure Peter Spellos is going to be signing dozens and dozens of those things, so I'll try to get him to sign that as well. So that, I'm not really big on getting people to sign stuff, but I think this year I'm going to see if I can get Peter Spellos to sign a few things for me, and Simon Furman again. See, I got this in that comic lot as well. So the best of Simon Furman. So this will be a good thing to take and get Simon to moniker it for me. Yeah, so that's pretty much the signings sorted out. Basically told you what bots I'm going for. There's plenty of other little bots that I'll be looking to get. But those three, Black Convoy, Night Morpher Cyclops, and RID Skybite, they're my three main targets of things I want to look for. Anything else is just play it by ear, basically. Yeah, right, panels. Now, last year I only did one panel. I only did the Return of Death's Head panel. But this year, I've heard there's a couple of other panels that I would very much like to attend. They are the third party panel, obviously, because I like my third party stuff. The YouTube panel, being a YouTuber myself, I've got to do that. It might be a bit of a giggle, quite fun. And then Simon Furman is doing another talk about the Dreamwave years. And as in that comic slot, there is a bunch of Dreamwave comics, some of which I've had a quick flick through. And the War Within ones I've read, and they're really good. And I quite like the art style they use. Some people don't. I quite like it. And yeah, so I'd like to get the lowdown of exactly what happened to Dreamwave. And Simon's going to do a panel where he's going to explain all that, which should be pretty cool. As for other panels, they haven't as of yet released the event itinerary, so I don't know what other panels might be out there that I want to go to, so we'll have to wait and see on that. Yeah, the review booth, the live lounge, or whatever they're calling it, I've sent an email that I want to book in for that, but I don't know what time I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to maybe have a shot at that, perhaps. Don't know what I'm going to do for it. I'll just have to play it by ear. Maybe I'll review a little something that I've picked up. Now a lot of people are saying about, oh, you know, you're going to get all hot and sweaty when you're walking round. Make sure you shower and all this. I'm taking a bunch of changes of clothes. I'm taking loads of t-shirts, a couple of pairs of jeans, different shoes, a load of hats, because I always like wearing my hats. I'm taking a whole bunch of clothes. I'm taking my wash kit as well, so I'll be able to have a shower as and when required. Freshen up. And the mop's gone! Yes, I've got rid of the mop. My hair's low maintenance now, so that's brilliant. So yeah, there is that. It's not a worry for me. It's not a fear for me about all that. I've got it all under control. Actually, there was a couple of little silly little ideas I came up for auto assembly this year. One of which involves this guy, Generations Cosmos. Now, back in the last year, I cleared off my my main display shelf in my room. I basically cleared the whole lot off, took them all up and restocked it. This guy was on the shelf. And I transformed him back into his saucer mode, and then I flung him onto the bed. And I noticed that he flies. This guy actually flies. I believe that he can fly. If you throw him with a bit of a spin, he flies like a frisbee. He flies like a frisbee. Now, this got me thinking. I would love to have a game of frisbee with this guy, with Cosmos, at auto assembly. So I'm bringing him to auto assembly in the vain hope that somebody will want to have a game of frisbee with Cosmos. But then I thought, well, can we make this a bit more interesting? So I came up with this idea. You know, there's this argument going on about the colour of the Soundwaves cassettes. You know, Rumble and Frenzy, Rib Fib. Rumble is blue, Frenzy is blue. You know what I'm saying? There's this age-old argument, people going on about what colour the cassettes were, because some people say, oh, they're red and blue, and some people saying they're blue and red. Well, I think we need some way to sort this argument out once and for all. And I've come up with an idea, and my idea is Rib Fib Frisbee with Cosmos. Now, it's a little contest, and the way it works, you'll have two teams of guys, or girls, two teams of players. One team will be the red team, one team will be the blue team. One team will think Rumble is red, the other team will think Rumble is blue. The two players will stand about 10 to 12 feet apart, and they will throw Cosmos to each other, frisbee fashion. Now, you're not supposed to fling it on the floor, throw it off to one side, or throw it really hard, or even throw it really hard. You've got to throw it sensibly, just give it a spin and just toss it to and fro. If one player fumbles the catch, drops it on the floor, they're out. They step off, the next player goes onto the yoki, and you go again. And then when, at the end, the last team, well, one team loses all its players, and the other team's got the players left, whether it be red team or blue team, they are the winner, and that is the colour that Rumble is. End of. That's just a silly little idea that I came up with for auto assembly. So yeah, I am bringing this guy. So if you want to fancy a game of frisbee, yeah, that was something silly I came up with. Another idea I came up with, which I don't think anybody's going to pay any attention to. I thought, why don't we, if you've got a third-party combiner, bring it along, so that then we can have the world's biggest seminar of third-party combiners. We can just get them all together in a big bunch and just take videos and photos of them and get the world's biggest gathering of third-party combiners. I'm planning on bringing my third-party combiner, my Toy World Nottlebots combiner, mainly because I'm still missing Grindrod and I'm hoping that I'll be able to pick him up at auto assembly. If I see Grindrod, I'm just going to be like, right! Going to be like that. Provided they don't not asking 100 quid for it. I'm prepared to pay up to about 65 quid for it. If I see it, I am nabbing it, and then I'm going to have a complete combiner. So, yeah, that's one thing that I'm definitely planning. It'd be cool, I reckon, for auto assembly to have a big get together of third-party combiners. I doubt whether anybody would be willing to bring their precious third-party combiners to auto assembly. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's a stupid idea. But again, just another suggestion that I've got of something that I would like to do, or something that you could do as a little special, extra special something for auto assembly. So there's that. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I've got to say. There isn't much more I can say. I'm really looking forward to going. Looking forward to the Friday afternoon, most of all. And I'm just looking forward to spending time, just chilling out, talking to people. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of YouTubers who I want to meet. Some of my YouTubers that I've not met in person that will be going to the event. Chris Sixshot and Natalie All in a Blur for starters. I'm going to be meeting you guys, two of my biggest subscribers who always watch my stuff, which is cool. And I'm sure, hopefully, some other people will come up to me and have a word, which will be nice. So I'll put my face about. I'm a bit better known in the Transformers YouTube community. Yeah. So this year it should be cool. And obviously, because this is the last auto assembly, I think that this auto assembly is going to be the best ever. It's certainly shaping up to be the best auto assembly ever. And I personally think this is going to be one of those events that you were either there or you weren't. Simple as. You were either there at that event or you weren't. So if you're one of those people that's sitting on the fence, oh, do I go to auto assembly or not? I mean, obviously it's going to be difficult to book in for the weekend now because all the hotel spaces are pretty much taken up. But you can still book in for a day. And I think you owe it to yourself. If you really want to go and you haven't decided yet, go to auto assembly this year. It's your last opportunity to go. And I think it's going to be an absolutely awesome event. It's going to be one of those events like Woodstock, like Woodstock. Everybody says, oh, you should have been at Woodstock. It was an amazing thing. Well, this last auto assembly, same deal. It's probably going to be the best auto assembly there is. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say. If you haven't bought your ticket yet and you're thinking of going, go get a ticket. So yeah, that's me done. I will be doing one more video next week about my my auto assembly challenge video. I've been umming and ahhing about it. I've been thinking, shall I do it? Shan't I do it? I'm still going to do a video on that sometime about this time next week. But anyway, that's it for now. That's me giving my green t-shirt talk about auto assembly. I will see you there. Bye.